Good evening, everyone, and welcome. It is finally getting ready for the healthy holidays. So we realized there could be lots of questions, and Dr. Justine has made herself available. You can text her at 647 987 9355. I wanted to welcome Dr. Justine with us today, and I wanted to share, not only is she the leader here at Justine Blainey Wellness Center for our healthcare team, but she's also a warrior for health and wellness. She is a popular motivational speaker, and really she has a main objective to provide you with the best care so that you can be the best version of yourself. Please help me welcome Dr. Justine Blainey-Broker.
Today, we're talking about Christmas, but our purpose is to help you be your best, to empower you to live a full life to your full potential with the 5 essentials of health with maximized living. So, you know what? I think of Christmas, and this is when we indulge. I know Mom all she can talk about is what's for dinner, what's for dessert, who's bringing the appetizers. It's all about what we're going to eat rather than who we're going to see and what we're going to do. So today we want to talk about some different ways to handle the Christmas holidays because this is an extra special time after the pandemic. So we want to make sure that we prioritize the most important things in our lives, and that is our health and our family. Our health is our number one priority. So let's go into this Christmas time, reducing our stress, reducing those calories, eating the healthy calories to make the best. I know with Thanksgiving, many people go from, mashed potatoes, pumpkin pie, lattes, apple crisp, stuffing. And then we just kind of slide right into the Christmas. It's not just Christmas Day, but it's Christmas season of where there's more get-togethers, more pops or alcohol, more sugary drinks, more fattening foods, hot chocolate, candy canes. And this is where we make a challenge. The average person, according to one study, eats over 6,000 calories extra on Christmas time. That's extra 3 times more than what's recommended, at least in the regular consumption. And the challenge is it doesn't just become, again, the Christmas day. It's Christmas Eve, it's Christmas Day, it's Boxing Day leftovers, getting into, even Christmas Eve parties. And then you have New Year's Eve and New Year's Eve. And then, of course, the leftovers for New Year's Day. So it just becomes a series of challenges. And some of the things that we see is things like huge breakfast, the pancake breakfast or French toast breakfast with maple syrup, where our family, and my son loves making his own protein pancakes, learning how to make protein French toast and adding the blueberries instead of lots of maple syrup, using strawberries, using natural no sugar yogurt. So looking at different ways to make those breakfasts. Then we have lots of midday snacking throughout the day because there's snacks and treats on the counter in the fridge, gifts from friends and family. When we're going to make gifts, maybe we look towards healthier snacks and healthier treats to give to our friends and family. And then, of course, we can get into pre-dinner appetizers. That could be an extra 1,000 calories right there. And that's probably where I'm guilty with, the crackers and cheese or fruit or nuts, even lots and lots of vegetables, just overdoing it. And then, not making sure I monitor the calories for the actual meal. When we get into the Christmas dinner, we could be almost, sometimes with the mashed potatoes and the extra servings, we can get almost over 1,700 calories. Then we look, of course, to the dessert, right? And sometimes, I know my husband's favorite line is he cannot discriminate. So if there's 2 kinds, he'll have 2 desserts, rather than choosing one or the other. And then, of course, we're looking at the late night snacks, the late night leftovers, and the next day leftovers, the desserts, because 3 people brought desserts, and next thing you know, you're eating desserts the next day and the next day. So this is challenging because this is when people can gain over 500% more weight in that week. And so we want to avoid that trend of the Christmas week, the New Year's week, and try and look at a plan of action in order to reduce this pattern. The other thing that I notice at the office is so much more stress at this time. There's stress with just planning Christmas presents, planning getting together, planning extra food shopping, um, planning, lineups to deal with, the stress of being close to people in lineups, budgeting our finances, um, dealing with even extra work challenges, because if you have time off, then you are cramming more work in less time, and then we're not sleeping the same. We're our minds are just keep running and running because we're thinking about all the things that we need to do. So this is a heightened stress time, and certainly that's something that we want to be able to help you with. And we've had numerous talks on stress. To please look, through our website gallery of videos to check out more on stress. 38% more people are stressed during the holidays, with the shopping, the parties, the finance, the guest list, who's invited, who's not. Now we have extra challenges um, with respect to the pandemic. So it's just so important to include everybody and make sure everybody feels welcome, and maybe just many little bit smaller gatherings, and look towards lunches, because we tend to eat less at lunches. You can follow it up with a walk, a hike, a game, as we're going to talk about coming up, and then you don't eat dinner, or you eat a lighter dinner. So that allows you to do that intermittent fasting. It also allows people to drive, not at night, not as so tired, and typically involves less alcohol. So just looking at different ways rather than just those nighttime big meals on Saturday or Sunday night, looking towards lunchtime meals, or early dinners, the 3 or 4 o'clock, so that way it's easier for everybody. So some of the tips we're going to go through for the healthy holidays, and dealing with maximizing our nervous system, maximizing our nutrition, our exercise, our mindset, and reducing those toxins. Those are the 5 essentials of health for maximized living. So when we start with the oxygen, yes, Santa's got to move, and so do you. The reindeer's got to run, and so do you. So this isn't the time to look at the Christmas weather and become more sedentary, to order more online. In fact, we want to get ourselves walking and moving, get those warm clothes out, the hats, the mitts. We want to get moving. So there's many different ways to get moving, to be creative during this Christmas time. Thank goodness gyms are open, and people can start playing sports again. But also for us, we've had outdoor ball hockey games, outdoor football games, outdoor walks and hikes. With our minister, Jamie, and North Bramley, we've done outdoor cricket games in the snow, and just fun to, we use just old cans and a piece of wood. So not necessarily knowing all the rules, but everybody just getting outside, having fun. We've played volleyball games by renting a gym. So looking at different ways to get that exercise and do it together as a family. So looking at this Christmas in a new way, in a way of exercise, in a way of healthy treats, healthy meals, healthy desserts. Maybe no alcohol or minimal alcohol. I know one of the things my stepmother, Jackie, will do is spritzers. So she'd, have her wine, but add that soda, so that you're just minimizing. For my mom, I try to tell her that between every alcoholic drink, have a big glass of water, just to dilute that and reduce the calories. Looking at walks during your Christmas breaks, and when you're at work, bringing the right clothes, bringing the right shoes, just having those ready with you can make a big difference. Drinking lots of water, so you're getting up often, so that your goal is to stand up, literally 35 times a day, every 15 minutes, just to stand up, reach, and sit back down at your desk if you have a sedentary routine. To look on Sunday nights to plan those healthy snacks, for pre workout, after workout, so that we're not reaching for the quick snacks because we're tired from that workout, or just tired from that stress. With Maximize Living on our website, we have lots and lots of different options, but looking at HIIT exercise, high intensity interval training. When you don't have time, this is a way to get the exercises done really, really quickly. So for me, often I'll write down a pyramid. And a pyramid means you start with 5, then 10, then 15, then 20, then 25, and then go back down 20, 15, 10, and 5, and choose 3 to 4 exercises. So if you're a beginner, you might start with quarter squats, quarter lunges. You might start with wall push-ups, and then sitting abs. But as you get better, you might go towards lunges, jump squats, push-ups from your knees. And then as you get better, you might work towards push-ups, full push-ups, jumping push-ups, jack push-ups, burpees, jump squats. And you can make these as hard as possible. And they tend to take about 10 minutes, and you'll go really, really hard. Another way with this hit exercise is just that 20 or 30 seconds on, 30 seconds off. And there's really no excuse because on YouTube, on Maximize Living, so many different options to get that 15-minute, just 30-minute quick sweat in. Literally, you could do it in your PJs, and your bare feet in order to keep your body moving. And when we do those hit exercise, getting our heart rate up for approximately 12 minutes, you will increase your metabolism for 36 hours off afterwards. And that's kind of the analogy of Orange Theory. And you can create your own Orange Theory, especially when you're short on time. Literally in 15 minutes, the time it might take you to go to a gym, change your clothes, and get started, you can get a quick workout in. So, no excuses, get creative, but mostly plan it out. For me, my workout, I write it down. So it's easier to follow a routine, follow a list than it is to try and make it up along the way. The next one is minimizing this toxins. This is the time when we have toxins in our foods, toxins in our drinks and our alcohol, but also toxins in what we breathe in. So many times people look towards candles, and candles can have quite a bit of toxins. They're not regulated. They can have petroleum. That's like gasoline that you're breathing in. It might smell good, but it's not healthy. This is time when people put funny things in their car for the smell, or plug in things into the outlets for the smell in their homes, but really they're quite toxic and not regulated. So this is a time to make your own with cinnamon and oranges on the stove, cinnamon sticks and water, and boil that. That can make your house smell wonderful. Or for us, we'll use a diffuser with healthy essential oils, and you can really get some great essential oils from Terracotta. There's so many great companies out there, and if you have some questions, I can help contact you with some essential oil distributors. But this is a great way for us. We have orange, we have cinnamon, we have peppermint, we have Christmas tree. So it's just some great ways to get that Christmas feeling, but in a healthy way. And just be careful that the toxins that we clean with are not often regulated as well. So for us, we use a lot of vinegar, or melaleuca, just looking for healthier ways to clean our homes, rather than those toxic, harsh chemicals like Lysol or Clorox. The next one we want to look at is taking care of our chiropractic, our nervous system, because the nervous system controls everything. There's so many parts of our brain, and our brain stem right in our neck, coming all the way down our spinal cord out to all the different parts of our body. You know that the spine is so cool. Those bones, those vertebrae support what's so special inside, and that is your spinal cord and your brain stem. And that's what we want to work on. And if there's an area that's twisted or turned or compressing on that spinal cord, that's going to affect the nerves that exit. And so, what as chiropractors, we find and remove those subluxations. That's the area when there's pressure on that spinal cord, and we just want to remove that pressure to help you and your body function better, to help those nerves that might affect headaches and tension, your eyes, your focus, your sleep, your blood pressure into your neck and shoulders, improve that sleep. The other day, we just had a person said, they were sweating less, they were sleeping better, they had less acid reflux. And those aren't what we work on, but by reducing stress, and what we do work on is removing those subluxations, so less stress on your entire system, your body's um, autonomic nervous system, that automatic nervous system functions better at a higher rate. And that's what we want for you. Better alignment means better communication through your entire body, from your brain to every other organ in your body. And the brain is so cool. We think of that frontal lobe. It affects our language, affects our memory, affects the motor cortex and how we move and our reflexes. One of our patients just last week said about how he could jump higher. And I haven't been working on the muscles in his legs. I've been adjusting his neck to help his brain send messages through his entire body. This is an area that helps our cognition, our memory, our focus, our sleep, our moods. If we look at the part of the brain, that affects our pain, that affects our ability to deal with touch and sensory or tactile information. And if we look at those temporal lobes, that's the area that can affect language development and our memory. And finally, if we look at the back, our visual cortex area, that's going to affect our ability, our mindset to affect our vision and our even nightmares. So we want to look at all parts of the brain and help our brain send messages through that medulla, through that brain stem to all parts of your body, especially during this season. Because if we have subluxations, misalignments in the spine, then even we can't digest those good foods well. We can't get our bodies moving as well. We can't get the most of all those other efforts with our exercise and our nutrition. Truly, the nervous system is the master controlling system. If you have questions about it, come and do a complimentary consultation, a meet and greet. Ask us questions because we're there to help you, Dr. Steve, Dr. Blake, Dr. Davis, myself, Dr. Justine, in order to do consultation to ask about your nervous system and an evaluation. And that can be done both virtually or in person. We want you to get the best results. Now, to get the best results, you also have to do your homework, and that is doing your home care. So, we do teach about the home care, tractioning for your neck, the rolls for your neck and your lower back, how to use a wobble cushion to loosen up those discs. All right. And or if you haven't got that equipment, what could you do with it? DIY, do it yourself. How could you make the proper equipment in order to help yourself? For example, a head weight. If you have that anterior head carriage, how could you use a hat to pull your head back to strengthen between your shoulders? If you have a low shoulder, how could you do a weight on your shoulder in order to train you to bring that shoulder up? I know I'm guilty because I shoot right in hockey. So, and I like my purse on my left side, my hockey bag on my left side. So I tend to drop my right shoulder. So, how do you train to bring that right shoulder up to level your hips? So, this is a picture of our traction unit to help stretch your spine. Behind me here, you can see I have a traction unit for a lower back, not an expensive one, just from Costco. So, there's just so many ways to do things to help your spinal health at home. And we would love to help teach you those with our kinesiologists with these advanced rehab exercises. Now, maximizing our mindset is also super important because, if we don't have this straight, subluxations at C1 or above the neck, then we don't even act on all these good things. A lot of times we know what to do, but we don't actually put it in place. We can tell others what to do, but we really have to walk the walk and talk the talk. So, here I want to talk about some strategies for that mindset, some practicing mindset areas. Number one is getting sleep. But the thing about the sleep is going to bed and getting up at regular intervals. So, this is the time why you don't want to stay up till midnight or especially after midnight, because if the 1 o'clock to 8 o'clock is not the same as the 11 o'clock to 6 o'clock, we need a more of a routine. Yes, we can get it off by half an hour, maybe an hour. But if it's over that, it actually affects your entire week and your entire circadian rhythm. So just regular sleep patterns can make a huge difference for how we handle the stresses coming our way. And sometimes that's, again, reorganizing those parties, saying no, being able to leave early, and focus on your health throughout the day. Taking time for yourself, whether that's a walk, time to read, time to do self-care, do your nails, take a bath, but making sure you have that time to meditate or prayer, but that's self-time. And a lot of times when we get super busy, that gets pushed aside and then we feel that stress. So the one of the best ways to have that reflection time is making sure it's done in the morning, getting up that 15 minutes earlier to have that quality time, or to at least minimize, schedule it so it's nothing else can get in the way of that self time. Keeping a planner. I absolutely believe that whether you do a planner, the written form, I'm old school, or you use a planner on your phone, but setting an action plan. So using Sunday nights to plan your week, where you're exercising, what the food that you're getting, your food prep, where you're going, how long it takes you to get there. That hour of prep time on Sunday saves so much mind stress throughout the week. And starting now, who are you seeing when, so that you can spread it out instead of jamming it all in into that Christmas week? So what if you have a Christmas get together December 15th versus December 25th? The important things is about the people we're with and the love we share, rather than that specific day. We want to focus that on our spiritual health, our mental health, and our physical health. So maybe it's spreading it out makes that huge difference. And lastly, setting boundaries. It is time sometimes to say no. Find out what's going to work for you. Maybe some of the get togethers are virtually, maybe some of the get togethers are lunches or breakfasts. And we're not just cramming everything in into 1, 2, or 3 days. Look at ways that you can say no. Find ways to pre-eat so you're not starving to get to that event. Find ways, if it's a potluck, to make sure we talk about healthier foods in advance, um, in order to say no to 3 desserts coming to your home, and look towards really taking care of who's bringing what to reduce that stress overall. If you are looking at nutrition and ways to deal with recipes, weight loss, we do have a holistic nutritionist and naturopath on our team, Sabine and Dr. Udani, and they would be happy to help you. Nutrition is a huge component to our health. You need good gas into your system. And unfortunately, at Christmas time, this is sort of when it goes out the window and we gain all those calories. So let's look at this Christmas, especially this Christmas, in the time of when we're recognizing that health is our number one priority, to new recipes and look at it as a way of challenging ourselves. And maybe some of those older recipes, even if they are family traditions, maybe we make a little bit less so that we're not overindulging, especially if they're not the healthiest treats. Again, we want this to be a Christmas time, not a Christmas month, where we're overdoing it all day long. Maybe it's time to take some of those treats and freeze them into little bags, little sections, so we're not doing it over and over and over. One of the ways for us at Christmas dinner, I'm not sure my family likes it, but I don't put everything on the table. I leave it in the kitchen, so you have to get up and get those seconds, um, so that way, once it's on the table, everybody's gotten some. I take it away so that we're not overdoing. Because sometimes our eyes want more than our stomachs. I know that happens to me. It's just you. It calls your name. Whether it's the extra stuffing, the extra mashed potatoes or gravy, and we're not really actually hungry, and we just want more. So this is a time, to just separate the time between those seconds, or when I was younger, thirds. So looking at ways to smaller serving sizes, smaller plates, smaller utensils, making sure that there's water on the table for everybody so that they're not just going for those sugary drinks or alcoholic drinks. This is a time when we want to make healthier swaps. So, mashed potatoes, looking towards mashed cauliflower or mashed broccoli can be amazing. Stuffing, looking towards grain free, fewer raisins, um, so that you're looking at less stuffing overall, because that tends to lead to a lot of carbohydrates. Instead of pumpkin spice lattes, tons of lattes, look towards, if you're using black coffee, almond milk, cashew milk, oat milk, and extra cinnamon, just to make it get that feel. You can also use different sweeteners that are more healthier, like xylitol, monk fruit. You can now even buy drops that is monk fruit or vanilla to make those drinks a lot healthier. And instead of apple pie with tons of crumble and tons of sugar, look at baked apples, and less sugar on top and more cinnamon, in order to make it easier and healthier for you. Definitely look at those potlucks. Decide ahead, who can do the healthier foods. Let's focus on all the colors of the vegetables, whether they're orange or green, um, or white like cauliflower. Look at lots of vegetables so that everybody can fill at least half their plate with vegetables. Let's look at cool salads, in order to make it a lot healthier for us on the long run. And you know what? We don't need the bread. Skip the bread because there's so much extra great on the table to make it better for ourselves and for our, after Christmas dinner, when we've got all those leftovers, maybe look at grain-free, gluten-free, or different forms of wraps that are healthier, or look at lettuce wraps in order to make a healthier snacks the following day. This is also time perhaps to freeze individual meals to make it easier for you to have healthier lunches afterwards and less prep and less stress overall. One of the greatest Christmas gifts my stepmother gave me, Lori, went through university. She used to make meals and freeze them. And so on Christmas Day, I got this box of meals that were healthy meals for me to eat. Um, During the January, February seasons, that was my strongest time of, biggest commitment for hockey. And I was able to have healthier meals. So looking at different ways of gifting this year, maybe instead of clothes, we're looking at healthier foods or healthier activities, money towards healthier activities to keep us fit, sport, gym memberships, gym equipment, so that we can help all of us be healthy mentally, physically, and nutritionally. Now, there's lots of different great supplements. Maximize Living just has an amazing brand that you can do online in order to be healthy. Every day, I focus on my vitamin D, my zinc, my essential oils, my vitamin B because I am vegetarian, a good healthy multivitamin, zinc. So I just want to make sure that you're looking at that healthy routine daily. Maximize Living also has great healthy proteins and healthy bars, whether it's the coconut bars, the keto bars, the chocolate bars that chocolate flavored. They also have healthy proteins. Whether you look at the plant based protein for vegetarians, it still provides approximately, I think, 10 to 12 grams, 15 grams of protein. The difference, it's very sweet for those who want to know. So different than Vega, which it doesn't have tend to be sweet. It's not grainy, which is great because a lot of the vegan and vegetarian proteins are grainy. Um, but one of the things that's great about it is you do have to drink it right away. The whey proteins and the pure path proteins are excellent from looking at whey uh, cows that are grass fed, free range. They're not being fed antibiotics and junk food. So you are what you ate. So these are ones that you want to look towards that are much healthier, looking and making sure that you get those natural products or Nature Pro or New Zealand brand, Australian brands, instead of the ones that typically have lots and lots of fake sugars inside of them and aspartame inside of them. You want to make sure you get the healthy sugars and also ones that don't have that aftertaste afterwards so that you kind of get an upset stomach. Love to see you, and definitely just have a Merry Christmas.